What's up, fam? I want to touch again on on another story that's piggybacking off of the the shooting, the fatal shooting, the massacre of three children and three adults at a private Christian school a few days ago. Now, on an earlier video I did, and I said I was going to do another more detailed video, which I plan on doing. I said that this is a spiritual war. And spiritual warfare is nothing that we can get out here and protest about. You know, we protest about racism. We can protest about red taping, redlining, financial inequality that plagues this country, that keeps a lot of us, that has mentally destroyed a lot of us to believing that, you know, it is what it is, and the only way things are going to change is if other people change the way they feel about us, and that's just not going to happen. It has to start within us first, to understand that the world that we live in is the world that we live in. It's a bad place. It's a dangerous place. There's a lot of evil in this world, and in order for it to change, is we have to start with ourselves and with our families and move out that way. First of all, let me give I don't want to say congratulations, but proper praise for the policemen that went into that school and acted immediately, didn't run from the violence. Because one thing I said in the video before, like being a police officer, being a first responder, nurse, doctor, fireman, that's not easy. Because you can make good money, and a lot of times you're just doing repetitious work. Yes. But there are times when you have to be called to duty to actually make life or death decisions just like that. And it could be the wrong one and it could be the right one, but you have to decide. And this is why training is so important. This is why when they say you can go to the police academy and be there for a few weeks and take a test and run up some ladders, and now you can be out there and you can become a policeman and be out there on the streets. And I know a lot of it has to do with policeman shortage, but still, same thing goes with nursing. Because there's a shortage, they kind of condense training and throw you out on that floor as quick as possible because they need bodies. But psychologically, I've known of a young lady who aced, who just breezed through nursing. I ain't gonna say breezed, but went through nursing school, made good grades, did all the studying, did everything he needed to do to get through nursing school, got to pass the NCLEX, got to the hospital floor, worked as a nurse, and did not last if a month, and wanted to quit. Didn't like it. And that happens a lot. And then you have people who stay in the business, in the field, and don't know what to do. I know people who like patient care techs or CNAs or whatever you want to call it. And they've had to train and had the CPR training. We got to go through this every year. Go through this every year. And but then when a code happens, they freeze up. Nurses too. Freak out. It happens, right? So anyway, like I said, I just want to, thank those policemen and policewomen that was there too, that went in there and took out took the demon possessed young lady out. You had to avoid more tragedy. But with that being said, let me get into the story that I want to get into. Normally, when there's a tragedy like this, and let's say someone's going to come out with a movie, we'll stick to film. Come out with films or TV shows. And the show has already been filmed, ready for release, and then something like this happens, like the different other school shootings that have happened over the past, terroristic attacks at train stations, this and the third, 9/11, the Las Vegas, where the guy was shooting out the window. Things like this happen. most of the studios, they'll have a show that's about to come out that may closely resemble or deal or touch on subjects like the ones that just happened. They'll pull the show, they'll edit the show, or they'll shelve it because it's the right and moral thing to do. I mean, you'll agree, right? I mean, you don't want to just, you know what I'm saying, just add on to people's, you don't want to show that you ain't got no heart at all. But not in this case. With a certain group. Now there's a certain group out there that wants you to think that they're the victims, right? To everything, that all this violence that people commit against them, you know, that they're just innocent people and they just want to be loved and liked and accepted. No, you're not going to be accepted by most people. You shouldn't be. You can do what you want to do it in the privacy of your own home, do it in the privacy of your own clubs or whatever the case may be. But to try to make it mainstream, try to change people to think like you, when it just goes against the moral fabric, just the everyday fabric of being a human being. No, man, it's just not going to work. But these people are doing this. And let me read this. This is from the Daily Mail, and it reads, Trans Day of Vengeance will go ahead at Supreme Court despite Nashville school trans shooter Audrey Hale killing 6. This group, let me be fair. I won't put everyone, all of the trans community into one group. Because you know how we like to say, you know, if one of us commit a crime or something, then they try to say that all black people commit crime. Not saying that we're on the same level. Don't even get that in your head, because no, it's totally different. So I would say this group, these people who will hold this event, and the people who will pridefully attend this event. Just a sidebar, you know, pride is one of the 7 deadly sins in the scriptures, but yet you holler gay pride parade and stuff like that. You know, I'm just saying. Okay, now back on track. But these people, whoever going to attend and throw this event, to me, are just monsters. Immoral, no moral compass at all, and this is why you got to be careful. You have to take them seriously, because if they're going to hold this event after what happened Monday, that lets you know. That just lets you know that people's spirits are demonic. However they became that way, if they have demonic spirits inside them. But let's read a little bit of this. It said an activist group is due to hold a Trans Day of Vengeance demonstration outside the Supreme Court on Saturday, warning against astronomical amounts of hate from the world and following the horrifying Nashville shooting, which left 7 dead on Monday. Now, I get tired of the word hate, phobia, and all that. Why is it that just can't be, you just can't flip it and say that you're pro-heterosexual, you're pro-two-gender human beings. You know, not transphobic or homophobic. Because again, there's no fear. The fear is, let's just say it, that we're going to go completely against the scriptures or completely against nature. And when left to their own vices, men are going to eventually do the wrong thing, which is what we do. Like I said in the other video, stuff like this, it happens over time, decades, generations, until once they get to a point to where they can come out and attack. Like, do you like the Trojan horse, trying to get behind the gates, and you get them behind the gates, and then they wait and they wait and they wait till the other soldiers are asleep, and they come about the horse and they attack and destroy everybody. That's all this is. That's all this is. And so now they just feel like they can come out. It's time to attack, because I'm gonna say it like this. I believe that they're gonna do this because they're trying. They know they need to hurry up and do it. If they could, they would have had this convention probably the day that the school shooting happened. because they just want, like, you forget about the school shooting. They want to get their point across because they know that this Nashville, this Audrey Hale is throwing a bad light on them. But let's keep going. The Trans Radical Activist Network will host the event in Washington, D.C. from 31st of March until the 2nd of April. So this is like a few days. It starts tomorrow. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 31, 30, 31, 1, 2, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is starting until 2nd of April. And you're going to tell me the politicians are not going to say, hey, y'all going to have to postpone this? You're not going to make them do that? Makes you wonder. It says starting Friday and marching on the Supreme Court at 11 a.m. on Saturday. On their website, they cite gender affirming care, ban bills, and the political climate as motive for the demonstration. So basically, then when you look at some of these flyers with these little old, these funny dressed people with their guns, it's basically you seeing that they're saying that either give them their rights or they're gonna come out blasting. Basically, that's what it like to me. But commentators are up in arms over the decision to go ahead with the protest, as police say they are investigating the role of Nashville shooter Audrey Hale's gender identity and a sense of resentment that may have inspired the attack on the shooter's Christian former school. So yes, Audrey Hale did go to that school years ago and waited till she was 28 to go back and attack it? Like, really? Grown ass woman goes back to take out 9-year-olds. Wow. Republican firebrand, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday demanded her Twitter account be restored after features were limited for violating rules. She said my congressional account was suspended for 7 days for exposing Antifa, who are organizing a call for violence called Trans Day of Vengeance. The day after the mass murder of children by a trans shooter, restore my account immediately. Ian Miles Cheong wrote that Twitter is now cracking down on those who promote the Trans Day of Vengeance poster, which mostly comprises of trans militants who are calling for a day of mass violence. You see, Twitter's trust and safety lead, Ella Aaron, responded, correct, we had to automatically sweep our platform and move over 5,000 retweets of this poster. We do not support tweets that incite violence irrespective of who posting. Vengeance does not imply peaceful protests. Organizing or support for peaceful protests is okay. Exactly. So how in the heck is Washington still letting this happen is what I want to know. This is strange to me. TRAN or Trans stated on their website, this protest is about unity, not inciting violence. But what the hell is vengeance? Kanye West. Do y'all recall, do we not remember, when Kanye West came out and said, I'm going DEFCON, what they say, DEFCON 3, DEFCON 4, whatever the case may be, DEFCON 5, tomorrow morning when I wake up, and the whole world, pretty much publicly destroyed this man. Took his bank accounts, he lost some contract deals, all of this. Because he said DEFCON, which meant it's defense. It's a defensive strategy for people who are throwing shells at you. And they took it and said, oh man, talking about committing violence against Ashkenazi Jewish people. It's like, what? We looking like, are you serious? But they destroyed this man. But this here says they come out with a day of vengeance, and the government is still gonna let them do a little protest. It is unclear whether Haley was associated with this movement. The shooter was armed with 2 assault-style rifles and a handgun. They killed 3 children. They killed 3 children, the head of school, 60, a custodian, and a substitute teacher, both 61. Victims, Evelyn, Haley, and William were all age 9. Metro Nashville Police Department officers Rex Engelbert and Michael Colazzo shot and killed Haley on the 2nd floor of the school. Police have investigated possible motives for the attack. Let's say Drake added that official, I'm kind of skipping through this, say this is police John Drake. Drake added that the officials believe that Haley identified as trans, but we're still in an initial investigation into all of that and if it actually played a role into the incident. Of course it did. Of course it did. Like I said in the earlier video, she had, for whatever reason, was taking hormones or confused about what's going on, this and the third, taking drugs. Her mind just wasn't right. For you to go into a school and do this, your mind just wasn't right. The upcoming protest was initially to be called a Trans Day of Visibility, but rebranded as Vengeance means fight back with vehemency. I'm sorry. The group said. So vengeance. Remember in the scripture it says, vengeance is mine, saith the Most High. Which means he's going to be the judge, jury, and executioner of all those who oppose his people. But y'all want to rebrand, and that's another thing. People love to take words and change the meaning of them. Like, come on now. Come on now. It's amazing how they do this. It is our battle cry to declare the word that we are a transgender, non-binary community will neither be silenced nor eradicated. You ain't got to be eradicated. You want to be black, so you want to be like black people so much, and y'all want to say that our fight is your fight. Well, why don't y'all do what a lot of us talking about doing to get your own communities? Get all the people who think like you, who act like you, who want to be like you. Just get your community. Oh, you think you did? You used to have San Francisco, right? Now you're trying to take over Atlanta. Whatever the case may be, find you somewhere to be so you can live in peace and not trying to make us be like y'all and condone and conform to y'all ways, because it just won't happen. I would never ever approve of like drag queens sitting here dancing and twerking in front of little babies. Never will approve that. Hell, I wouldn't want to do that in front of grown adults. Think I want to do it in front of children? Nah, that's a problem. Oh, it said, who to say? Distancing themselves from Haley. The group published a statement on their website ahead of the event. What does it say? Sakuru, co-founder Our Rights DC, and trans are horrified at the acts of violence committed at the Covenant School on March 27, 2023. We grieve for Evelyn Dykehouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney, Cynthia Peake, Catherine Kuntz, and Mike Hill, and with their loved ones. We also reject any connection between that horrific event and ours. Vengeance means fighting back with vehemency. We are fighting against the false narratives, criminalization, and eradication of our existence. Trans also says that due to the hate received, they have disabled their contact form. But again, the problem is, why are you still having it? Like I said, where is the moral? You can say all that, but for you to still have this event so soon after this event shows that your moral compass is low. I'm sorry. You can be upset, believe what you want, but it is low. And to end this, I went to this website, ranker.com, and it says 14 things that were postponed or altered because of real tragedies. I'm just going to go through a few of them. It says, Supergirl, NCIS, Los Angeles, and Legends. It says, after the coordinated terroristic attack on Paris. Oh, mercy. I hate these things. Why does this? Why does this happen? God dang it. Need to give me an apple. After coordinated terroristic attacks on Paris on November 13, 2015, a number of TV shows had terrorism-themed episodes postponed. CBS show Supergirl, NCIS, Los Angeles both switched their schedules around to air future episodes. And the TNT drama Legends replaced their scheduled episode with a rerun. You see, American Horror Story Cult, the 6th episode of American Horror Story Cult was reportedly supposed to include a mass shooting scene. However, following the Las Vegas shooting in October of 2017, God, that was 5 years ago, man. Time goes by fast. Kids, enjoy your life. Time goes by so quick. The older you get, the quicker these dang years go by. FX decided to heavily edit the scene. The network released a statement. This opening, which was filmed 2 months ago and which portrays an occurrence of gun violence that has sadly become all too common in our country, contains a sequence that some viewers might find traumatic. Let's see, Mr. Robot Season 1 finale, the August 26, 2015 season finale of the USA drama Mr. Robot was postponed for a week because it contains similarities to the tragic on-air shooting of a news anchor and camera operator that occurred in Virginia on that same day. And so I said, hell, in the video game Grand Theft Auto 3, the video game Grand Theft Auto 3 was delayed almost a month after its planned September 2001 release to make last-minute changes. The game was originally set in a city that resembled New York City. After 911, the colors of the game's police cars were changed from blue and white NYPD design to black and white LAPD design. A mission that referenced terrorists was completely removed, and a flight path of a plane that went near skyscrapers was also altered. When released in October 2001, it went on to become the best-selling video game of that year. So basically, it's a few more here. So basically what I'm saying is, sometimes you got to do what's right. You have to do what's right and not do what you want to do. Because doing what you want to do may not be the right thing. I mean, cliches as it may sound, because you got to look at the bigger picture. As they say, read the room. What you're doing is just, like I say, it shows that you have no moral compass. You don't care about the feelings of anyone else but yourself, because you got to be the victim 24/7. Nothing else can happen to anybody else, and you could care about it. Doesn't matter. What about us? Mentality. Would that be like narcissistic? I don't know. I heard that word a lot. Misused and misdefined. But anyway, yeah, like I said before, man, this is a spiritual war. And when it gets to this level, man, like I say, no protesting, no voting is going to stop it. No giving people money, reparations, which I am a proponent of reparations for sure. But none of this stuff in the end is going to matter, because when it gets spiritual like this and people are willingly taking out kids, when you got pharmaceutical companies who are handing out drugs that are altering people's minds as well as their bodies, to where they was already a little confused and curious, and now they're going to be totally confusing and way more curious, because they don't know what the heck they're thinking. These drugs and hormone stuff that, when you look at the side effects, may cause suicidal ideations, and depression and stuff like that. But you still push it on these people because you want them to give them what they want, but you really just want them to become lifelong drug addicts and prescribers and patients, so you can continue to get paid off this bullcorn. When you get down to it, like I say, it's the morals. It's a spiritual person. It's a person's spirituality. You've got away from what this country was supposedly founded on, which was biblical, Christian, scriptural values, what you claim, but this ain't nothing like that now, at all. But anyway, man, that's all I got for this. Tell me what you think about it. Share, leave your comments below and then share it with the world. And with that being said, hey, I'll leave y'all in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.